This is my review for the Batman. As you can see, with the cute little shirt, Batman, Robin. There's no Robin. Well, technically there is. Kinda. One of the Robins is in the movie. Little cameo Easter egg. The show Titans. The kid who is the guy who's he's one of the gang members in the beginning, and he's the one who doesn't want to punch the guy, and he runs away from Batman. He plays one of the Robins in Titans. I want to say it's Jason Todd or Nightwing, one of those two. But he plays one of the Robins that becomes one of those characters later on. So I don't know if they did it on purpose or is it just a nod or what it was. But a lot of people didn't want to see this movie because of Edward Cullen, Robert Pattinson. But it's Batman, so a lot of people saw it anyway. I personally felt like Robert Pattinson was going to be a great Batman. It made sense to me. I heard he was a great actor in a lot of movies I haven't seen yet, but I did see Tenet, and I love Tenet, and he was great in Tenet. So I was like, he's going to be a great Batman. He's a huge Batman fan, and if you watch this movie, you can tell. The movie also stars not only Robert Pattinson as Batman, but it stars Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. Well, he's a lieutenant right now. He's not commissioner yet. This is a very early Batman story. We have Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. I always love seeing Zoe Kravitz in movies. Apparently, she's directing a movie later on with Channing Tatum. And they're together, so that'll be pretty cool. I think it's her first movie she's directed. It's supposed to come out like this year, next year, something like that. We also have Colin Farrell as the Penguin. I feel like he killed it. I feel like he did an amazing job. We have the twins from Teen Wolf in this movie. Briefly, they're the twins, Kinsey twins. Well, no, not Kinsey. Kinsey's one of the cops, my bad. But they're one of the twins, okay? Well, they're both the twins because it's two people. We also, I feel like I'm missing another big person. Oh, yeah. Paul Dano plays the Riddler. And he plays a great Riddler to me because he fits the character well, especially for what they were going for. This movie is, like I said, it's an early Batman story. It's confirmed that it's year 2 of Batman's career, so we're only 2 years in. I love that the movie shows Batman's inexperience with a lot of different scenes. They show his inexperience, they show him mess up. Usually Batman's somebody who has everything tightly together. He doesn't make mistakes, things like that. But we're in year 2. He's going to make mistakes. He's human. Batman has no superpowers. He's just really smart. And how do really smart people get smarter? They make mistakes and they learn from them. So Batman doing that in this movie, I feel like that was a nice touch for them to do that. The movie is based off of mainly the Long Halloween comic, but also Year 1. And there's hints of The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 in here as well. I had watched all these animated movies a few years ago before I knew that this movie was based on that. So for me, loving those animated movies and seeing them on the big screen in live action, they fit it perfectly. If you watch those movies, those are detective Batman stories that are true to how Batman started and how he was supposed to be. But those animated movies are some of the best Batman stories. A lot of people say the comics are great as well. I watched the animated movies because somebody told me about one of them. I was like, man, let me watch this. And I remember I watched Year 1, Dark Knight Returns, Part 1 and 2, and Long Halloween. All of them are phenomenal. I love the take that they did in the film. Also, another big player in the movie is John Turturro's Carmine Falcone, or Falcone, whichever. I like both pronunciations. Animated movie Falcone, The Batman Falcone. John Turturro knocked it out the park. He did an amazing job. If you remember him, the main movies I remember him from is Transformers. He was amazing in the Transformers movies. He was part of why those movies were as great as they were. And so I was like, seeing him as Carmine Falcone, somebody who I hate, like I can't stand that character because he annoys me, and he did a perfect job. He played Carmine Falcone to perfection. the main things about why this movie is so amazing, not only because it's a true Batman movie, it's a true detective mystery Batman movie, but also the acting. Everybody did a phenomenal job acting wise. A lot of people who didn't like the movie, there's a big difference, and I can see why they didn't like it. Movies like The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, those movies are more blockbuster Batman movies. Anyone who doesn't care about the character of Batman is not gonna care, because those movies are made in a way where you don't really have to care for Batman. You can care for any of the other characters, or just the way the movie's done. It's a great movie. This movie is more of a film. It's more of a cinematic film. It was filmed in such a way where you can tell there was a lot of detail to a lot of different things. And the way that they did things, you could tell that they love and care about Batman. Me personally, I'm not a Batman fan. I do not care about Batman, but I care about the stories that this movie was based on, so that made me enjoy the movie more, because those were great stories, and seeing them adapted to this, they did a perfect job. I care more about Batman's villains usually, but everyone in this movie had their own story, they had their own arc, they had a personality. I love the fact that there's supposed to be a Penguin show, there may be a Catwoman show. I want more sequels of this Batman. Robert Pattinson did a great job. At first I'm like, man, are they going Batman Beyond? Like, is that what they're going? But no, they didn't. This is just young Batman. Everyone acted phenomenally. Everyone, like, this movie was nominated for anything, it deserves it. I feel like it does. It's an amazing film, amazing love letter to Batman, and like, we're gonna be true, like hardcore fan. We're gonna be true to Batman, who he was, and those are people that love the movie. For people who didn't like it, I say it's kind of like Joker. Either you're gonna like it or you're not. I enjoy Joker for what it was, but I'm not like, oh my god, you have to see Joker. Like, this is that type of movie, like The Matrix. Like, The Matrix, Joker, this movie, one thing they have in common is you can have somebody sit there and watch it and they can feel completely different about it. But you as a person, you're not like, oh no, you should love this movie, you should feel that way. You're like, okay, I understand why you feel that way. I know why you didn't like it. There's no arguing about it, because it's okay on both ends. There's evidence on both ends. Riddler did his part. He played the Riddler. Paul Dano played the Riddler phenomenally. He's just a crazy dude. He's lost his mind, and he did his part in the movie. He was more vicious than I've ever seen Riddler be, but I enjoyed it, and I feel like he'll be a great character going forward. I feel like what Matt Reeves can do. Matt Reeves is the director. Should have been said that. He directed the Planet of the Apes movies. That was another reason why I knew I was gonna love this movie. But I feel like he can flesh out Batman villains from beginning, and hopefully I can see later on. Hopefully we get to see his vision, but I feel like he can do a great job. His character development, the attention to detail to these characters' personalities and how they are, was perfect. Favorite person in the movie? Probably Colin Farrell's Penguin. Man, but I loved every actor. There's not one person in this movie I'm like, man, they should have picked somebody else. Or man, I didn't like this person. I loved every single one of them. The Batman. If you haven't seen it, see it. I know it's 2 hours and 56 minutes. The Eternals was shorter than this, and it felt longer. The way that the movie flows, the pacing, and just one thing you need to remember: the Batmobile scene. That's my favorite scene in the movie, just because of how it plays out and how it's done. And you can look at it two ways. I thought it was an intimidation tactic, but my friend Garrick was like, nah, he stalled out the Batmobile. He stalled it. That's a great attention to detail. I love the Batman. I feel like you should see it. Check it out. Definitely a movie to see in theaters. You watch it later at home. It is pretty long. Get you some popcorn or whatever your favorite snack is. Wait till it's at home. I think in about, it said 45 days from the release, so it should be at home sometime soon. But definitely don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, dislike, I don't know, whatever you want to do. Thank you guys for supporting me. I love you guys, and do your best to be happy.